Now let's get ready for our next speaker, Nick Confrey. Come on out. He's going to be sharing about beating the cold start problem in social networks with NFTs. Very interesting. All right, go for it.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nick Confrey. I'm one of the co-founders of Seam, a Web3 social platform. Previously, I was at Facebook, actually, for the past 5 years. I built products that went out to hundreds of millions of people. I was on the new product experiences team that Zuck told us we should try to figure out what the next Instagram is going to be. But the reason why I'm here today is because I think the people in this room sort of know where the next Instagram, where the next social platform is going to come from. It's not going to come from Silicon Valley. I think it's going to come from NFTs and Web3 and people who are in this room right now. And so I only have 10 minutes, but by the end of this talk, you'll have learned 3 things. You'll learn first what the cold start problem is and how Web3 is going to defeat it. 2, how Web2 advertising models lead to zero-sum competition between everybody when we're posting our content. And 3, how the Web3 token economy is actually going to lead to win-win collaboration and unlock a new creative renaissance. I'm really excited. Let's get started. So how many people were here last year? Is this people's first time? We have 1 person who was here last year. Well, I'm very excited to share that there was an amazing talk, and I'm still really excited about the path that we're on. So Jimmy Wales, the founder of Wikipedia, he likened this moment in the internet today to what NFTs are doing right now. And so he had the example, just like Wikipedia was allowing anybody to put up a page on the internet, people thought it was a pipe dream. People thought it would be crazy that he could beat Encyclopedia Britannica, which at that point was the arbiter of all knowledge. And I mean, it was a crazy time, right? At the first 24 hours of Wikipedia going live, there was a giant dick on the front page. And he couldn't even get it down because the services were offline. It's very similar today where we have rug pulls, we have scams, it's still the Wild West out here. But just like Wikipedia was able to actually beat the incumbent, I believe that we're actually going to be able to do exactly the same thing with these new social platforms. So let's get into it. Welcome to a remixable internet, where everybody can build off of the collaboration of each other rather than having to compete again. And the way that this is going to happen is because of a difference in business models. So if you show me the incentive, I'll show you the outcome. So we're all pretty familiar at this point with the Web2 business model, right? You get a couple 100 million users on your social platform, and then you show them some ads. An average iOS app on the App Store can earn about 4 cents per user, not so much. But of course, if you target the ads, then you can earn a lot more. So Instagram earns about $5 per user, Facebook earns $30 per user, and TikTok, wow, $48, $46 per user. This all comes because they target their ads, meaning that they're incentivized to collect more data about us than we would probably like. This is also a problem, though, because of the zero-sum competition between all of us. So when you release something on YouTube and it goes well, you get to claim all of the credit. What about the idea? Where did that come from? Or if I'm a developer and I release my source code and somebody else uses it, what do I get in return? The advertising model actually incentivizes us to jealously hold all of our content to ourselves. We don't want to release that drum beat. We don't want to release that meme if it's not perfect. Because if somebody else uses it, then none of us get any of the credit. I wonder if any of you guys, any of you in the audience, have you ever released something and had someone post it again and it done better? That does not feel so great, but that's the zero-sum competition game that we're all playing right now on social media. It's also even worse for open source software. So there's something that's famously called the Nebraska problem, where open source software is just sort of put out there, and other than maybe a coffee, you're not really getting much in return. So Max Howell, who is the creator of Homebrew, which many of the largest tech companies in the world use to manage their source dependencies, he, after building this entire thing, got a blanket from Square and an iPad from Google, which obviously did not pay all of his bills. So why am I up here today, and where are we moving towards? Well, we're moving towards the Web3 tokenized economy. And this works by allowing a platform to release a platform token and then create a marketplace with an exchange of value. So a great example of this is the Helium network, right? Where they incentivize people to boot up routers and create a decentralized wireless network by releasing a token and having all of the people be able to share in that value. I think this is the best point to now talk about that bootstrapping and being able to build out these network effects. So let's learn about what the cold start problem is. So the cold start problem is the chicken or egg challenge of having people join a new social network before there's a reason to be there, before you have any of your friends, before there's any content on there. There's no reason for you to be there. Just like a party, right? If you show up to a party and there's no one there, you're just going to bounce. You're not going to stick around. But how Web3 solves this is by allowing people to have actual ownership and then financial incentive for making sure that people stick around. It's just like if your name was on the party poster, you're going to be incentivized to then have your friends. There's two main caveats here, of course. You want to make sure that it doesn't fail the Howey test, which is the way that the federal government currently decides what a legal use of a token is. And then two, you want to make sure that you don't over-financialize the system, which would incentivize financial speculation instead of good social interaction. So at this point, we've got no cold start problem, which makes it easier for entrepreneurs like myself to build new social networks like Daniel, who was speaking earlier. We don't need ads anymore, which is amazing, because then we don't need as much user data collection. We're already doing much, much better. But I'd actually like to move a little bit further. This is where most Web3 social platforms stop. But I think we can actually go much further. And that is to what I mentioned before, the remixable internet. And so this is where typically we sort of see this read, Web 1, write, Web 2, and own. I think during the bull market, we were very focused on who owns an NFT. Who owns that? But instead, I think we should be thinking about the other side of it. Who created that NFT? And being able to, using smart contracts, automatically decide the split between different collaborators of a project. So if you right there in the orange shirt create something really cool, and I'm like, that's amazing, I want to use it, and then I do, and I remix it, whether that's a song or a piece of software or something like that, then you can earn some of the rewards when my project ultimately does well, and it leads to something that's really exciting, which is this win-win cooperation. So for music, or for posts, or for videos, or for what I'm passionate about, software, when people build on top of each other, now we can actually start to split all the proceeds. This is already happening already. The aforementioned Max Howell is working on a project called T.XYZ, which automatically tracks the way that people use software in their projects and distributes rewards accordingly. So this is really exciting. At Seam, we're taking it even one step forward, though, and shaping the social platforms themselves. So allowing anybody to rip or remix the social platform to make sure that they can build the features much better than any engineer like myself in Silicon Valley could ever do. Because we all know our platforms, we all know our communities, we all know our self-expression much more. When I was building at Facebook, what I used to do is go research some community somewhere, go in a conference room, put it out, and build it. We're actually going to be able to move as a community, everybody in this room, building faster, outcompeting the incumbents, and the new social network is going to come from this new method of collaboration and cooperation. We like to say that we're making product development as easy as creating memes, because like a meme, this remixability is the key to participation. Or like a TikTok video, you can see something, understand it, even if you don't know how to code, like a Tumblr or a MySpace era of self-expression. Go in there, change a red to a blue, start to understand, start to learn how to code, and start to actually earn from your creations. I'm really excited to be building this remixable internet. If you want to chat with me about the tokenized economy, the remixable internet, or the future of social media, connect with me at nick@seam.contact, or you can find me up. I'll be up at the little mezzanine right there. Thank you all so much for your time.